in the infrastructure to support these cruise ships coming to their destination. Now, mind you, the cruise lines have invested some capital as well. But what Antigua is saying is they've invested as a government, and the cruise lines are only giving them $5 or $6 per person to bring those ships in. Over time, that's lots of money. When you think about the ships can hold upwards of 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people, the larger ones, and that's 6 times $6. But how much are those cruise lines making on those folks? And is that enough for the destination to pay for staffing those ports, for securing those ports, for security, making sure that the ships get in safely at their ports, all of that? That is the disagreement. So what they did was they took a bid from a company outside of the ordinary, what everyone else has been considering standard operations, because they could do it for less money, which means they can get more money. Their expenses are less. It makes sense from a business perspective, but the cruise lines want to hold Antigua, or not the cruise lines, but Carnival has decided that they don't want to participate because they disagree with that decision. That's your business. That's their business, and I don't really have a dog in this hunt, as you would say, but I do feel like people should be treated fairly, and I want our business practices in the travel industry to reflect support for the destinations that we travel, so that everyone benefits in a positive way. And that's where I'll go with that. So on a happier, more fun note, red light district tours are going to be banned in Amsterdam. So everybody wants to go to Amsterdam for a couple of things. Well, it used to be in the past, and one was going to the not the coffee shops, but the shops where you could sample marijuana, and to go to the red light district. So beginning in January 1st, 2020, Amsterdam will no longer offer guided tours for tourists in the red light district. Just guided tours. So you can take a tour of yours by yourself, but they will not host guided tours. There are several tourist attractions that bring visitors to Amsterdam, including the canals, floating houses, museums, galleries, and more. And the red light district is one of those things that brings people to Amsterdam. So recently, the statement was made that it was outdated to allow tourists to gape at sex workers in the windows and view them as an attraction. What's your thought? That's another question I could have asked today. So there are about 19 million a year that go and view the red light district, which they say is causing overcrowdedness on the streets, which leads to problems. As the number of tourists walking through the red light district grows, the amount of local paying clients decreases. So the problem is the locals who frequent these places, these prostitutes and these brothels, don't want to go because so many tourists are there taking pictures or not taking pictures, but are going. And so the locals that frequent these places don't want to be seen there or captured in any form or fashion handling their business in the red light district. And when you go on a guided tour, they don't allow you to take pictures, and you have to be silent and quiet so that the people can do their work. It is what it is. They want to do their work in silence. They know you're there looking, but they don't necessarily want you capturing them. And so the country has decided that there's just so much going on with too many tourists are coming. The problem they're saying, though, is if they stop the guided tours, then people will go on their own, and there won't be anyone there to tell them, to police them, to say no pictures, let's keep it down, let's let these people work. So I thought that was interesting. So Princess has come out with this new ocean medallion. It's a little coin that you can use to open your room, to get on board the ship. So they're taking away the card kind of thing. And I'm kind of interested in seeing how this is going to work, because I'm afraid if it's a coin that I may lose it a lot faster, as opposed to putting the lanyard around my neck with my card in there. So some of the things that it's used for is embarkation, and second is room access, and third is for transactions like buying a drink or something from the gift shop. So they have these concepts. One is called Ocean Ready, and that's the pre-boarding app that you can use. Ocean Now, which is delivery service that comes with it. So you can order, if you're sitting by the pool, you want some food from a restaurant or an area that's not close to the pool, you can order it and they'll bring it to you. Ocean Compass is a system that puts the map of the ship on your cell phone. Ocean Casino, of course, that means you can gamble anywhere on the ship at one of the 3 gaming portals. Ocean Play is games app that you and your children can play if you're interested in e-games. And then Ocean View, which is a compilation of videos from Saturday morning TV shows such as Ocean Trek, in which Carnival Corp brands have been featured. And it's also used in conducting the muster drill. The medallion allows for the integration between the muster stations and the bridge, which will improve tracking and shaving 15 to 20 minutes from the length of the drill. So that is the end of travel news this week. That was a lot. I'm exhausted. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I get back, we got our friends over at the Wireless Traveler that we're going to talk to or talk about today. This is Karen Duncan. See you in a minute.
If you like the sound of vacationing at a 5-star luxury included resort, Sandals has a symphony of romantic indulgences just for you. Sandals hits all the right notes for 2 people in love. Miles of pristine beaches harmonize with beautiful turquoise seas. Love Nest Suites are orchestrated with private plunge pools and tranquility soaking tubs for 2. The tempo increases with unlimited land and water sports, including scuba diving and golf. Your taste buds are treated to a rhapsody of 5-star global gourmet dining at up to 16 world-class restaurants, including endless pours of premium spirits and wine, music to anyone's ears. From live entertainment to taxes, tips, and transfers, it's all included, all unlimited, and only at Sandals, the world's only 5-star luxury included resorts, voted world's best 21 years in a row.
To book your vacation to Sandals, contact Peaks Cruises and Tours at 512-529-3696. Welcome back to your Bucket List Buster. Karen Duncan here. Our Telecom Thursday tips with our friends over at the Wireless Traveler. Do you need to make a call abroad and decide not to or watch the clock because of the expense? Well, many of our listeners may already have Wi-Fi calling and texting apps for when you travel abroad. But how many of us think of to use them when we're at home to make those ever so important calls to family or friends visiting or living in another country? I mean, let's face it, so many families these days live in different countries for a variety of reasons, like job opportunities, study abroad semesters, or just fulfilling their bucket list of travel plans. And whether you are the one traveling or just the one to stay in touch with a loved one, let's talk about low-cost calling options right from your smartphone, or iPad for that matter. Did you know that most any app you can download from iTunes, like the Wireless Traveler Wi-Fi calling app, can also be downloaded onto your iPad? Plug in your earphone jack and start making and receiving calls right from your iPad. But what are the best apps for calling? Hands down, the folks over at Wireless Traveler say everyone should download WhatsApp for free texting, and it is also great for calling as long as the person you are contacting also has WhatsApp on their phone. They all use the Wireless Traveler Wi-Fi calling app because it's unique in what it comes with, a real live U.S. number, so you can usually be called on the app most anywhere in the world for just 3 cents per minute. And to call back to the USA from all over the world is only 2 cents per minute. So back to where we started today. If you need to make that call abroad to a family member or even for business, just $5 gives you up to 4 hours of international calling from the convenience of your own cell phone, as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection. No need to wait and get back home to jump onto the computer for Skype, calling the kids who are studying in France or Australia. Just connect to Starbucks Wi-Fi over a coffee and start calling from your cell phone. Wi-Fi app, or let the kids call you on the app at their convenience, bearing in mind the time difference, of course. The folks over at Wireless Traveler are never far from their two favorite traveling apps, WhatsApp for texting and Wireless Traveler Wi-Fi calling for making and receiving calls for just pennies anywhere in the world. Head off to the iTunes Store, Google Play, and download your favorite version today and start connecting before your next trip abroad. Download the app for free and add a little list $5 for calling. We hope you enjoyed listening to this week, and we look forward to meeting up again next Thursday for more tech tips from our friends over the Wireless Traveler. To get in contact, call them at 1-866-700-3883 or go to wirelesstraveler.com. Well, I started talking about it earlier in the show. By the way, this is Karen Duncan, your host of Your Bucket List Buster, about this new app that I'm using to go on my trip. It's called the Vacation Countdown, and I absolutely adore it. So you can customize it and create this picture. Like, I'm using the travel around the world picture because I'm not going to a beach specifically this time, but they have the beach feature where you can show. But it also allows you to tap on it and say, where should we go? So I did that to see what destination I wanted to talk about today, and it came up Bejing, China. So let's talk about some details about Bejing, China today. It's the capital of China. The best time to go is spring and autumn. Ideal weather, it's warm and dry. Did you know Bejing has 21.54 million people? The flower is the China rose. Bejing is a city with profound history and has been the Chinese capital since the Yuan dynasty. As a result, there's a huge amount of cultural inheritance, such as the Great Wall, the Palace Museum, and the Temple of Heaven. It's the oldest city in the world, dates back 3,000 years, same as London, and 6 times older than New York. Bejing is home to 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites: the Great Wall, one of the greatest sites in the world; the Forbidden City is the largest palace in the world; the Temple of Heaven is considered the most holy of Beijing's imperial temples; the Summer Palace is the world's largest imperial garden, just to name a few. So, if you're looking for a new place to go, head over to Bejing. If you're looking for something to help you continue to be excited about that upcoming trip, download Vacation Countdown and let it tell you how many days, how many weeks, how many minutes, how many seconds you have. It even has a shopping list feature you can share. So if there are people going with you, you can share the countdown that says this is how many weeks we have. It's just loads and loads of fun, and it's helping me stay excited. I'm going to take another really quick break, and when I get back, I'm going to tell you a little bit about some upcoming shows that we're going to have. See you in a minute. You're listening to Your Bucket List Buster on Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker.com, and iHeartRadio. Welcome back. This is Karen Duncan, your Bucket List Buster, and we're at the end of this week's show, but just to give you a little teaser of some things that are coming up in the very near future, we're going to talk about traveling solo. So many people are out there visiting places by themselves, and you don't have to be afraid. As a woman traveling alone, as a man traveling alone, I've got some a great show coming up about that, living the life of an expat. I'll have an interview with one of my new friends here in Panama. Talks about how they decided and why they decided